Alrighty. So we've talked about before in the videos how we're at a moment in time that has been manufactured, manicured, cultivated, directed by outside forces for promoting change that is negative in nature, that is antichrist in nature, that is anti-good, that is pro-sex, get your kids out there humping everything that moves so that we can get them pregnant and we can, help to fund this endless, pregnant wombs coming into the machine of Planned Parenthood that has all these, disgusting relationships with politicians and all sorts of, I imagine, kickbacks and backdoor deals. It has all these superstar, I hate that word celebrity, but I got to use it so you know what I'm talking about, endorsements from the evil. And they all kind of work together to give a map of reality, if you will, to your children. And children don't stay children, they become adults. So kind of putting almost like a brand loyalty to going to your good friends, Planned Parenthood, to get rid of that little nuisance, that little gift that God put inside of you when you had relations. And you were getting all that information from the videos, from the books, from the interviews, from your favorite celebrities, from your favorite artists, from your favorite movies, all of this stuff, just this big giant engine pushing, 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 seeding a particular direction into children and young adults to live just a very wanton, out there type of lifestyle, very 1960s free love, but brought up to date where, you're really living the life in this sexual freedom and all this stuff. Don't worry about the consequences. We have Planned Parenthood right there to take care of any little problems for you for the low, low price of whatever the going rate of an abortion is, depending on how long you want to let that son or daughter grow inside of you. And depending on what your laws are in your state, as the government in America gives a green light, a pass, a positive affirmation to go ahead and just polish that little sucker off. It's all about you, Bubby. So you have this whole conglomerate of all these different little pieces that are all helping to support these things that in and of themselves physically is dangerous, emotionally is, practically suicide for a lot of people. They don't do well post abortive. They know that deep down inside they have done something wrong, and there's lots of forgiveness for people that have done things wrong, up to and including the murder of their infants, sons and daughters. So there's absolutely forgiveness. But you see, people aren't even within the church, oftentimes to the leadership of the television, they aren't even being directed to go obtain their forgiveness and their great love and fascination with Jesus Christ for the forgiveness that he will lavish on them. And in fact, you have a lot of leftist churches, a lot of really dark organizations that are turncoats that simply just have that outside layer, that facade. I'm the church. And, we've done videos talking about how they just continue to lift that banner of breaking the sixth command against children and elevating that to something that is desirable. They would label it good. They would label it efficacious. It's something that will support their lives with climate change and depopulation and, you getting yours, you making sure that you become number one at all times, and so on and so forth. So this article over here at Reformation Charlotte, I do like, and well, the article is horrible, but I like Reformation Charlotte, and they are discussing how this is a brand new article just popped today. And it says rural public library will again, again. So it's happened before. Did not see that word in there before. So again, will host this word pole dancers. Okay. Teens only. Because we know what a great job young teenagers that have no frontal lobe executive higher order functioning in their brains is underdeveloped until we're getting into the mid 20s. I swear some people it's later at 30. Especially being nurtured in this hellhole society that wants to come along through all the media forums and be your mommy and tell you how to live your life and what to do. Which I'm a huge enemy of. And, you know, as we go along and as I watch this insanity and as I just have this major venomous hatred for this pseudo nightmare coming through the media, telling you what to think, what to say, what to do, and sculpting society, particularly the youth who have absolutely no idea that this is happening, that their thoughts literally become the children's thoughts as they sculpt them, and they sculpt for them a worldview that is not in their best interests. This is one more example of it. Oh boy. For teens only sex ed class. I mean, this is, oh my. What parent is seriously going to be like, honey, I want you to embrace this. You need to go learn how to become a super excellent pole dancer because we know that those are some high aspirations in this life, to make sure and teach other people how to treat you and to completely hypersexualize yourself and objectify yourself as something to be used and abused, as opposed to being valued. And we know that those messages are laced all throughout movies, and all the other examples that we've given, as media becomes your mommy, as media almost kind of in a sick, twisted, psychopath way becomes like a Jiminy Cricket from hell on the inside of you, directing your conscience that is being so marred by popular entertainment through America, and has just a litany of people at the very top who have goals to keep you at all costs away from Jesus Christ and to lead you into a path of destruction. And of course, we want to hyper focus on the most vulnerable among us who don't have the year's worth of experience, are still learning, as we talked about, and don't have a great track record for using the greatest sense and responsibility. Now, that's a big blanket statement because there are some 16-year-olds out there that are like amazing, for example, and are actually doing better than some grown adults. So this is just a basic broad statement on, you know, statistical data in terms of, you know, children are still learning. Okay. And then we want to finish it off with a pro go out and hump everything that moves sex ed class at the good old public library. Okay. And it is the great state of Maryland who is doing this. So, despite creating an outcry among concerned parents in 2017, a public library once again plans to host, it's hard to even, what? A lesbian pole dancers teen only sex ed class for 12-year-olds up to 17-year-olds. What? Wow. Drink that in. 12. That's because, again, they want to create these endless waves of wombs get their cycle, get them pregnant as quickly as possible, bring them into your good friends Planned Parenthood. This is about producing multiple streams of revenue and a repeat customer for life. Go ahead. Let them carve up your innards. A lot of times they screw up and they will puncture a cavity within you, and oftentimes, not always, but sometimes, these people, because they really shouldn't have these electrical tools inside your womb, they frequently, not frequently, they will on occasion will actually harm the host that they're getting $1,000 for or whatever. So not only do they intend to harm the offspring, but they also sometimes botch the abortion and actually harm the mother. And that happens sometimes. But they want to get them in there at that right young, tender age of 12 years old. Let's get them all spiritually messed up. Let's get them thinking that their only value in life is their, you know what? This is disgusting. This is what evil looks like, okay? Teens have questions about sexual health, whether it is birth control, all these other things that I don't want to mention, or something else completely. Reads an event description posted at the good old Lexington Public Park Library on its Facebook page. This will be an informal workshop where your teen can ask any sexual health questions you want and get an honest answer. So, parents are completely cut out of this. Parents are retarded. Parents can't give you any kind of good wisdom because, for the most part, normal, healthy parents are not going to be like, listen, Jenny, you're turning 12 next week, and we totally want to make sure that you have as much opportunity to be sexually objectified and turned into a breeding mill to get pregnant and then to go offer your baby to have it murdered so that some doctors can make more money, an organization can make more money. They can use the easy death, you've gotten used to the wholesale emphasized infanticide rather, slaughter of babies, so that eventually people will be so deadened in their conscience, so deadened in their spiritual whatever, their Jiminy Cricket will be, their conscience will be so jacked that when they get to the point of the wholesale slaughter of humanity for the sake of Mother Earth, what they call it, not me, people will go along with it. They will be so used to a culture of death, celebrating a culture of death. So happy birthday, honey. Get in there. Parents, this is so a usurping of parental authority. I can't even believe this. Parents, again, will be prohibited from attending and are expected to wait in the general library areas or in the other room. That doesn't seem right. It should be where. We will be putting on a program about the importance of science-based. Oh my word. We're going to indoctrinate the parents in a separate room for the, wait for it, LGBTQ. I don't know what I is. I don't know what A is, but I noticed the plus. So they just want to have a whole alphabet for your sexual perversions and this idea that, again, it's all about you, Bubby. Make sure that, well, never mind. I'll keep that to myself. But anyhow, inclusive sex ed. So, you really see, again, we talked about this before. We talked about how timing is everything with these people. When you want to seed evil, when you want to seed a message into someone's consciousness, you will pay attention to the Ricky Gervais, Emmys. We talked a little bit about this, how they are pushing the pedophilia. They will do documentaries. They will do TED Talks with these little waif women that are like, I can't help it. I just want to go after little 6-year-old boys. And, as if entertaining every little desire that comes across your melon on your head, your brain, is something good and efficacious. No. Your empty little temple that doesn't have God in it, your flesh is going to crave that which is against God. It is your job to say, no, do not entertain that thought. Do not entertain that word. And for goodness sakes, do not entertain that deed. This is the inverse of it. If you could hear the hiss in this is Satan telling you the opposite of what I just said. And then getting retarded goat parents to go along with it. This is insane. This is about open up the doors to whatever sexual perversion. It's your right to have it. And there is no moral tug at your heart saying, is this good? Is this going to be good for you? Is this going to have a good outcome for you? Again, we talked about how wisdom in Proverbs 8, she's out there hollering to get you some sense. And what you have is the absolute murder of wisdom right now in the public forum. And the fact that they would segregate parents and then indoctrinate them. Wow. Unbelievable. This is so dangerous. Like, hello, Nazi America 2019, we're taking over. We're going to indoctrinate your children. Oh, look at this little leer. Like, you want to come sit on my lap? Do you have a question? No. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Secular humanist. This goes back to what I've been saying about how the idea that an atheist is someone that does not, they'll tell you this, they'll say it this way. They'll say atheist means that you don't believe there's a God. But I would tell you that while that sounds right on the onset, what it actually is not communicating in that idea is that secular humanists, so this little creation that could choke on a hot dog and be dead, okay, they actually fancy themselves to be God. And part of playing the role of fake God with your empty little temple walking around, no God inside of you, you are a complete slave to your sinful desires, thoughts, words, deeds. You are racking up an account. The book shall be opened if you die in your sins. You are going to go to the lake of fire if you have these sins. And the sins at the end of the age, where they're kind of trying to take you back to these Roman Greek times of just this total perversion that is accepted within everything, all the fake religions, all the weird sex and everything. We have a goal from these people that fancy themselves to be gods. Not only do they want to have control over saying who lives and dies, but they also want to have free, full Crowleyan type of access, satanic access, if you will, to the worldview as false gods, that whatever sexual perversion they want to entertain, and it doesn't matter if there's a cost to the victim of that, because it's all about them. So, Straight Talk Sex Ed for Teens with Bianca Palmisano, public posted, Southern Maryland area secular humanist. So, you basically have the creation that has asserted authority, they think, over God by refusing to submit to him, refusing to submit to his law, which Paul tells us the law is good. The law is good. If you want to have a moral child, the law is very good. If you sit and part it out, I don't know if you have it all memorized. It's very good to find books that have pictures that will help you. We have this really cool book where each one of the commands was fashioned into a number, and so you associate by the picture number that's a visual. Very, very good. So, for example, do not commit adultery. There was a woman, and they had a 7, and it was worked into the theme of to have only eyes for your wife, kind of a theme. Or, for example, number 8 was, thou shalt not steal, and so the handcuffs on the person, it was an 8 on its side for the handcuffs, for example. Anyhow, it was just really neat how they worked in a visual. So I do have the 10 Commands memorized, and in sanctification, we absolutely should imitate Paul as he imitates Christ. But anyhow, these people have said that now we don't want the 10 Commands. We want to do what we want to do. We want no moral restraints. We are gods on our way to transhumanism, they think. And that just doesn't go well. But these are the people who now want to be inside your kids' heads. They want your kids, man. They want your kids. So they come along and they're a divine androgyne looking role. They're going to help your kids out, and don't let your kids go. That's why you have to have such a strong relationship with your child, communicating to them your love in every different possible way, so that one of these jacknuts comes through, a tool for the devil, and your child already knows, no, my parents love me and care for me. In research, the same-sex parent is the strongest sculptor of attitudes and definer of worldview. So, for instance, a mother with her daughter, a father with his son, the parent will hold the largest influence over that child, especially if you have it all cemented in love. Love, constant demonstration, so on and so forth, which you get from a biblical worldview if you apply things accurately and correctly. So these are the usurpers. These are the media elite usurpers coming in to try to take over your job as a parent at the good old government-sponsored, state-sponsored public library. Lexington Park, Maryland is mostly a rural, I do not know what that word is, of Washington, D.C. That has emerged as a surprising battleground over teen-only sex ed. That is just so strange. They already get that in public education, so why stick it in the schools too? It's just another route and directive to another opening to get into your children and to take them away from Christ and from you and from safety, and then indoctrinate the parents in the other room. I mean, and any parent that would be like, yes, this seems like a completely good and efficacious idea. Honestly, you probably shouldn't have children. Like, go read a Bible. And the drag queen story hour at its public library events. According to blogger Sharon Tracy, who works with the Mass Resistance Texas, parents have plenty of reason for grave concern about topics that might be addressed in these sessions conducted by the controversial speaker Bianca Palmisano. So I actually had to pull the page down because I'm not looking to stumble people and cause them problems. So I had to pull the page down because I didn't like the picture that was showing things that I don't want to stumble people with is what I'm trying to articulate. The Straight Talk Sex Ed for Teens is taught by, we already talked about Bianca, who prefers the pronouns they and them. So they're pushing that. Now this is absolutely ridiculous because these are plural, but Bianca's not plural. Bianca's singular. So we can't even deal with the rules of English grammar. And I'm just going to say Bianca because it's easier for me, was the 2013 Slut Walk keynote speaker. I don't think that any human being should identify themselves in this manner. she is more than what that word details. I don't like that. Oh, surprise, surprise. Was I right or what? She is a Planned Parenthood certified sex educator, a two-time presenter for the Philadelphia Trans whatever Health Conference and Woodhull Sexual Freedom Summit, and a planning committee member for DC's that word day of remembrance. Okay, so these were all things that I told you. I have not read this article yet, but it's not hard to see that you have people that are in the field that want to promote multiple streams of revenue. This idea that sexual freedom will get you something in the end actually takes away from you. It hurts you, it harms you. There's so many things that could be said about that. And again, when we're talking about reproducing, we're talking about something that is 100% for adults within the confines of marriage, protection, income coming in, and so on and so forth. It is not for children. Yet these are the people that are little workers, little worker bees to go out and to get your 12-year-old hyper focused on pregnancy. Or if they can't get them focused on pregnancy, they'll get them focused on uh, just confusing them to no end and bringing them into Satan's ultimate goal, which is really to take refuge in your choices, your pride walk, you're getting your way so that you don't run to Jesus and get your sins forgiven. So these are very wicked people. Oh my word. Do not get me started on this idea of safer sex. That is the most retarded, jacked up concept on the face of the planet. The safest is to not engage until you are in a marriage as an adult and ready to reproduce. That is the most logical, healthy position you could take. Oh, I do not like this human being. Their proclivities, how they're being used to promote pregnancy and abortion with little kids. And why would I? I don't even know what that means. Intersectional feminists. There is no safe sex or safer sex and staying healthy. There is yoking with people that will break your heart when they use you for your body, when they get you pregnant and leave you. That doesn't always happen, but teenage boys aren't the best known case study for perseverance and sticking through. There might be a small faction that hang in there, but again, we're making big, broad statements based on statistical data. You are creating a culture of baby daddies, mama dad. I mean, whatever. What do they call them? Baby daddies. You know that Maury Povich guy got famous off of his stupid one-liner, and you are not the father. That the talk shows were such a tool to bring people into aberrant behavior and to make it normal that Tina humped everything that moved in the room, and there's four potential baby daddies and one of them might be the father, and they pushed that and pushed that and pushed that through the 90s. They had so many talk shows going on. They were teaching a monkey see, monkey do, and telling people that this is how people behave. This is normal. And then people started copying those behaviors as they were getting farther away from a moral compass that is kind of like those safety rails when you're driving so that you don't go ripping off the edge into the water. These people are there to deconstruct this. This being the things that keep you safe. Um, oh, brother. It's going to be weird. So she has like all kinds, shocker, She has all kinds of body image issues, which is the opening picture up here, which I told you I wasn't going to subject you to. Her shirt's off and you can see side boob and it's just not good. And an eating disorder. So why would I want someone that has OCD, eating issues, body image issues, and says that she's a he, she, thing, it, whatever. She uses these plural pronouns for singular. This person is a hot mess, and I want to introduce my kid to this person? Are you insane? Canadian sex therapist. Run. Seriously, just run. Anything else weird? Okay, so let me get past this picture because hold on a second. You're gonna thank me for scrolling down. Oh my gosh, this is so hard to take. The mentally ill, sinful, wicked, distorted, perverted, anti-heterosexual woman has her little workshops for encouraging. Remember, she's getting into the ears of the children and the dumb parents that let them. Spankings, she noted more than once on her Instagram. So she's putting all these little tools and things of suggestions. Get your tickets. Oh, wow. Get your tickets ASAP before they run out at the sugartheshop.com workshops. So all kinds of just, throwing all discretion to the wind. That's actually a very unhealthy thing. Will the teens be introduced to that even more destructive stuff? Hollywood had the 50 Shades of Retarded, and so she's helping to promote that. Oh, good grief. What do we got here? Other stuff. I don't want to. Oh, good grief. Okay, hold on. Let me pull past that. So we're going to be finishing up here because I'm about over and done with this. I would not let this human being anywhere near my child. She's pretty much just like the biggest tool of the devil. There are so many pictures in here. She is just a hot mess. Uh, I have no words. So, come here. I want to read you a story, little baby. Oh my. So, because people are not holding the line, oh my. Exactly. Rent public library, pride for teens, or child sex grooming. There's another one. You know what? We did a video talking about this because I remember this tiny little outfit this human being does, like this weird dance, and like they're promoting this as normal. I mean, just this is so painful. Yeah, sexual grooming. I don't I don't know what they're. Ah! Okay, that's it. I'm done. So this will be the end of the article because I've about had it, but I do want to draw your attention to this. So one of the people involved in this transgender activist, sex industry worker, because you know that some of the most mentally healthy, emotionally healthy, physically healthy workers of any type of job that you could ever possibly pick are going to be your sex industry workers. No, wait, no. The suicide rate is outrageous. The drug use rate is outrageous. There is dysfunction, but these people want to promote this to your children that it's good. That's not even what I wanted to hyper focus on. Survivalist and tech nerd, citizen, journalist, comrade. Oh, get your red, creepy, Marxist, psychopath. We're destroying the fabric of society, and you're sitting back letting it happen. Obviously, I'm communicating to the people that should be wigging out about this and fighting in their communities, each according to their ability, to each with their own need. That is something that is communicated in communism. Socialism is soft communism. Communism is, we're just going to wipe you out because you're not really worth anything to us. And so you have this little nutbag here, this tool of the devil in Seattle, Washington, who is promoting this. Jamie, or the other way around. Full bore communism. Wow. Okay, and then just other libraries as well. This constant onslaught of perversion and normalization of that which is completely insane. Green hair, man dressed up like a woman, smile big, get your pride on, and promotion of all kinds of things for children that I'm not going to show you the pictures of. But really, again, just souping up those engines to get those wombs, either to produce children for them that Planned Parenthood can take care of for you. Bloody day at the end of the day, lots of blood, or to get you hyper focused onto not having children, but going the way of your own way, the way of Cain, the way of doing what you want to do. I'm not saying Cain was homosexual, but Cain is a way of saying, do what you want to do. And you can't very well repent and come to Christ when you are out solidifying your heart's desires with simple behavior. And we're all just supposed to shut up, not talk about it, not have a voice. And if you disagree, they just shut you down. They just shut you up. And eventually it will go to the place, I don't know when, but they will be firing up those guillotines and firing up a whole litany of a world that will, if you don't agree with what they tell you, you're going to be killed. You know, that's what the UN depopulation is. That's what the Noahide sub laws are all about. That's what this ruling elite of Masons, with the cooperation of the UN, want to do. They just want to silence you so that they can serve their friend and master, the God of this world, Satan. So anyhow, thank you very much if you watched this with me. How terribly disgusting. There is an agenda at bay. Oh, I'm not going to pull that up. Thank you. Bye.